Lukki, thank you very much for joining us. And here it is a bit this improvisation a little bit, but is a stage for you to first tell a little bit about you, about your project, and then we can navigate from there on.
Yeah, cool. No, thanks. Interesting intro. Like the three body problem. I think you could take many three other examples and design a three body problem out of the dynamics that are going on. Maybe governance, privacy, technology, or and governments or something like that. Is always also circling around each other, and then that's why new stuff emerges all the time. Yeah? So. But I just basically also discovered blockchain and Bitcoin a little bit earlier than that, but basically a little bit more in 2020. And I thought, okay, there's actually a way to disintermediate already like intermediaries, and that the banks were basically the first ones to be disrupted with this, and are still also going up, or that part of that disruption or DeFi adoption is also going up the same adoption curve as many other technologies, just from a number of users, right? Not even capital that just sometimes goes like woo, because the crypto market goes like woo and then woo.
Yes. I like the onomatopoeia.
It's like a little bit, but some of the adoption curves are on track and so on, and that is kind of cool to see, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started with something else, but also went to develop or work for a cybersecurity firm first in crypto a bit, or in this space, and also in trading and AI. Yeah. But basically always in data, and that was exciting. But there's a lot of things, as you said, that you can do with blockchain. People that come out first were even going an incredibly new way, like Satoshi Nakamoto has not been found to date and all that. So incredible storyline, let's say, for the whole industry and how it emerged. But that's why it's exciting and can kind of continue to potentially help to improve on that path. And people are following that path because someone set the tone, and someone set the stage for everyone else to be able to build upon. Yeah, and maybe actually the OGs, the old crypto OGs, and the values that they kind of also promoted during those years. Yeah, keep investing in privacy technology and smart contracts and the underlying infrastructure. That kind of, and the fact that this is still ongoing. I mean, we're still seeing cycles where we still invest into layer 1 and layer 2, and that's the main narrative. So it looks like that smart investors and VCs and a lot of VC money is still going into that direction, which basically shows us again and again that it's still early and it's still a technology that has a lot of potential down the line. But there's already standards emerging, right? So it's kind of an ongoing trend. Yeah?
And tell me, how was the your starting point with blockchain? What seduced you about blockchain?
No, I was looking. It was Corona, basically. Yeah, so everyone was looking for something new to do. Actually,
the beer,
in a way. Pardon? The beer? No,
that's a terrible joke.
No, just because of that NFT collection. I mean, it was an NFT that you can buy to get a ton of beer sent to your doorstep every year. Why not?
That's amazing.
That's a German thing to do, maybe, but
I want to know about it. I mean, I'm not that heavy user of beer, but having subscription of something like that.
That was before NFTs. I haven't even heard of NFTs in 2020. So that's actually only maybe at the end of 2020. I actually don't know.
Digressed. We were talking about Corona, right?
And then, yes, I just found something new to do, and obviously with some background and some startup background, and definitely still interested in AI. That was 2020, before the big ChatGPT hype. I also found like Web3 or blockchain, crypto in general, an interesting technology and smart contracts, because it actually helped disintermediate. And there's so many intermediaries. I already saw Facebook or social media as potential intermediaries. Advertising is a cool, let's say, use case where you can always be creative and so on. So, but I always thought about, actually working on core data issues, data problems, or interfaces for that.
Yeah, speak a bit about it. You were kind of, you got bored being aerospace engineer, and then you're a German aerospace engineer,
Yeah,
and
that was even before that. So I was even not working much in aerospace anymore since 2017, because that's when I started Eagle AI,
oh really?
the first company. So that's, you don't know that, yeah. And
I'm not
then
sure.
I had an idea basically in the very beginning to which problem could you solve with drones, because I was an aerospace engineer and working in the field, yeah.
Wow.
And drones were very emerging technology still, 2016, 17. And then I found a friend, and he was building like a very interesting hybrid technology, which was a balloon paired with a drone. So I quickly understood, okay, this must be able to stay in the air for longer. He also explained to me why it's safer, and so on, and that he had a patent and all that. So that's kind of also one of the ideas that I quickly and started really, really early in my early days. But then I kept like looking into other technologies and so on as well. And yeah, back in the days, we wanted to solve either traffic problems or environmental problems like wildfire. So we even had like applications running with the European Space Agency and so on.
You started with something really regen and really
Actually, yeah, I
yeah.
know. Yeah, I was very intrinsically motivated about this kind of, for example, early wildfire recognition.
Oh, Portugal needs a lot of that.
It's funny that you say it, but it still does not exist in the way that I would have imagined it, and so on. Huh?
I know it's a kind of a side question, but do you think that there is any type of how can I say, some counter scientific to stop those wildfires? Maybe there is some
No,
type of criminal
no,
behind that.
no,
No,
no.
is this
I
too
think,
much
for example,
conspirational
in
on
the
this?
in
Thinking
the
about these fires as
maybe a bit too conspirational, because it can be in absolutely almost nobody's interest that, was it $250 billion of real estate investment basically burning in LA since this huge fire?
yes.
I heard that it was an amount that actually, I don't know, I wouldn't even know how any insurance or reinsurance or how this is going to be covered, or God knows what, but I think it's like tons of people's homes or the wealth actually basically destroyed just like that. I think otherwise, who's going to help them to build up their house again
Yeah,
and so on?
and I know that in Brazil for sure there is this really kind of criminal stuff on wildfires. That there's people that proactive set fire.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
For that would have been a use case as well, but in this case, sometimes you have to start on your home turf, right? And we wrote emails and everything to Cal Fire in California back then, and so on. But it could have been easier, would have been much easier if, for example, the European Space Agency would have funded that. And when we applied at the European Space Agency in Bavaria, and later found out that the two biggest satellite manufacturers in Europe have their headquarters in Bavaria, and that may have been the reason why our application didn't go through. With the reason, oh, we didn't understand your business model. That was actually part of the reason that they wrote in their letter, so to say, sorry, no. But the reasons, or our business models were kind of really easily explained. They were like, okay, first we operate the drones ourselves because maybe there's a problem. Then we actually rent them with a manual, and then at some point we will even sell them with a CE tag or whatever. What's not to understand about this business model? You're the fucking European Space Agency. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like that shouldn't have been in this letter, because that's really a little bit. Huh?
And then
Huh? And then
yeah.
wait, even funnier now,
Yeah.
because you like this kind of stories, right? And we are in
Yes.
this setting here.
Yeah.
They also funded other startups.
Uh-huh.
One startup that was basically selling a grill for the back of your bicycle.
Okay.
And the lady, the girl, basically proudly explained to me once that she wrote into the application that the coating of her barbecue would be so innovative it could maybe be used in space, as if they haven't done more research than you with your barbecue
Uh-huh.
for fucking material that is used in satellites. Yeah, so very funny, and so things keep appearing to me that are actually definitely not right in this world. So there's a couple of body problems that are not going
Right.
to be solved.
And
Right?
and talk about this. Maybe we can and jump to your project. It's very, very cool. I wanted you to speak a little bit. I think by this time you had kind of connection with this as a life mission and purpose with this drones and trying to do something amazingly good. And what was the shift that took you to some more digital type of engineering, and how this new project resonates with your life
Hmm.
purpose, if there is, and there is no judgment. If you say, man, I'm just for the cash and that's it, it's no problem. But just to understand how this is connected, how your new project and how the
Yeah,
shift it made, it is connected with your, if that is a life
right.
mission, life
I didn't really know when I ventured into blockchain and crypto that there were so many enthusiasts out there, and that they were actually working on some uh, deeper meaning, values, and all that. Yeah, but that definitely resonated with me. And then there's really a strong community. So generally, you feel like part even of a bigger company if you go to an event and you think everyone is so friendly and so on. Yeah, it's trying to help each other. But then you have different scenarios too, where people are already fighting over whatever is there to eat. But still, it kind of was quite welcoming, and we always wanted to build something that we can eventually make open source. Yeah, there's many also business reasons why software should be open source. So it's not about it's not only about maybe fulfilling yourself. We definitely also want to try to build a window for advertisers and good companies to advertise, because it's hard to break through the noise, and the current advertising silos are out there and they are hard to break through. So the blockchain world also wants to break something to make something, right? And obviously there's also this very enthusiastic and let's say monetary incentives that can drive a movement that really also probably is gonna break something.
yeah.
Otherwise, what is this Web3 gonna be? What is Web3 gonna be?
Yep.
But it already is breaking finance. Now we see DeSci coming up. We hear narratives maybe a little bit earlier than other people, of course, because we work in the space. But this is not going to be the last one for sure. And there's of course things that are already people are already thinking about, and we already heard about them, like this decentralized financial AI movement, where I believe for sure it's gonna be a really easy decision at some point.
You think that people majority will kind of choose to create projects that regen, that supports, or they're going to continue to just replicate or copy what is in the minds of VCs to invest on?
Good question. I hope that there's still people out, and there's going to be a continuous inflow of people that generally want to do something different, yeah, and don't just copycat or jump on the next narrative or build a meme coin or whatever because it's hot, yeah, because Trump also can do it. Why can I not do it? Yeah,
What's this rug pull kid? What's the name? And it was
the guy that
Quantum. Yes, see, it's the kid that is the rug pull in this pump fund. The name of the token was
something with quantum,
what?
yes,
Oh my god!
yeah.
Right? Quant, right? Oh
Quant,
my
yeah, the
god!
kid that then
Shit.
made 30,000 posted about it, and then it went to 2 million again
Yeah.
because the community took over. Yeah, it's strange, but anyways, that's another fucking topic because
Yes.
crypto. It seems like every cycle there's also an ICO bubble coming with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right. So in 2017 we had the first ICO bubble. I think in 2020 we had another ICO bubble because NFTs were basically a little bit of a bubble that bursted again, and still some value in it, yeah, in the
Yeah,
technology.
that's very good. You said just
Yeah,
like sometimes those stuff that it is not backed with so much kind of
yeah,
science behind or something like this.
yeah.
In the end, goes to the newspaper, even if it's bad. How can I say PR? I think most of people start to listen about NFT after some. This is bad about humankind. Only when bad news was kind of coming, being promoting, people start to try to understand what is NFTs. And NFTs in blockchain in general is such an amazing tool for trust. And then going to the PR as a mistrust, it is hard. Huh?
Mm. I mean, there's also different ways around, to empower this digital space with something like um, a unique ticket. Yeah? It doesn't even there's now ERC 404, but it's the first time this even emerged, and that's why it was hot. And then it was traded, and it still has some value. And I thought actually there is a value to these NFTs at some point eventually. If Web3 gets super big, for example, it will be interesting as an entrepreneur in the space to own a deep a punk or a board ape or something, to be also kind of get an easy entry ticket into these communities that are degens and are trying to change something. Huh?
Amazing. So, and then now taking the hook of that, if share a little bit, I like pretty much your project, the iPal.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's very, very interesting because there is so many interesting features there. And I would like you to share a little bit with us about
thanks.
iPal.
Actually, I have to first say thanks to my team, because Axel is here, and then two other guys are actually sitting elsewhere. Maybe we're gonna watch sometime. But that's been kind of definitely the foundation of this. What started as a trading venue or trading venture became more of a decentralized app infrastructure project, and we also wanted to build a UI to solve information overload, basically by visualizing content a little bit better, structuring it, and eventually building standards or so to make it easier to find, retrieve, and build consensus on typical questions that then maybe even AI doesn't need to answer anymore. So there's definitely like also ways how AI could use data, but we wanted to help people to monetize information. So if you want to think of iPal, then in a very short way, you can say that we are allowing anyone to monetize their spreadsheets and set up a price and an expiry time for it, and share, and others to share those, and also get a reward for sharing it, because then you can basically break through some of these silos. Some people might know who would be interested in this information, and others might know where to get the more information, so they might actually attach another source or another maybe deeper analysis into the original file. And so we thought that, we thought about it, about a lot of content that we know it, and that's the little bubble that we know it. So we wanted to build also a system where we can communicate that nicely and wisely, and in a structured way. And then other people would maybe come with their bubble of knowledge that they know it, and also start to talk about it, about their mission. And if you have a mission, then you can probably also compare yourself relatively well with someone else that's already out there, or with practices that's how it's done today. Yeah. Or describe the problem, and basically disseminate the problem a little bit in a more detailed way, just so that you can basically maybe raise more attention onto this topic. So that's why it's also got an advertising component. If you have a good product and you can differentiate yourself in one way or the other, then that's a way to do marketing on our platform. And those we want to kind of support, because that's kind of, they are on a mission, or they are innovative, or maybe they are just younger and not a monopoly yet. Then we would support them. But I don't believe that Google or Microsoft is gonna come knocking at my door and say, "Hi, can we have a marketing campaign with you?" And maybe I would even be in the position at some point to say, "Nah, thanks."
It is already too centralized, right? Just like give a piece to other people to also to create their data, to share their knowledge, and so on and so forth. What I am kind of we are running to almost the end of our interview, but what I am fascinated about your project, it is that for years sometimes you can kind of build some spreadsheet, just like, because back 20 years ago you were kind of doing something else, creating a list of suppliers of that, list of events of that, list of clients, list, or other type of information that can be presentable in the spreadsheet. and then you giving the chance of people that has these spreadsheets dusting in there. Of course, there is some data and material that age, right, kind of lost their value, but there is some type of data. It is kind of and then say to these people, hey, just like post this on iPal, it gets compensated by that. And the buying persona, the people that the community that says, oh, okay, I don't have any spreadsheet, I can also share and earn. And I think this can be pretty much valuable, just like to monetize this structure. And another thing that I think is amazing on your project, I think you are solving on the side, as a side hustle, side track, is the identity. It's so cool the way that you created the ID and the multiple social media crossing, creating more trust on the data that it is being.
I mean, you can connect your profiles, but you don't have to, and you can stay anonymous too, because then otherwise nobody would be talking bad about something that is allowed to say. Yeah, you cannot defame people on the internet, right? You cannot say something that is really, I don't know, putting someone into a life-threatening situation or God knows what. Like exposing someone's home address apparently is already potentially putting someone in a life-threatening situation, right? And so on. So this is kind of very hard, but social media companies are not doing enough or whatever to basically stop bad things happening from their platforms and all that. So there's no silver bullet to anything. And if you build technology, then code is law, and there might be someone that does something negative with technology in every scenario. Yeah, but we also have to figure out a good way to, for example, put AI to use where it isn't absolutely even necessary, using the data points and so on to see if that's a bot or not. That's a mission that the whole Web3 world has been basically on to, and that's why this is a Web3 app and not another, let's say, new search engine project or something like that. It has to be factored in at some point. Someone that has a verified ENS name, that's kind of obviously harder to crack and hack the account. Is probably really posting in his own words and his own name, and not, oh, sorry, my Twitter account got hacked, or our Twitter account got hacked, and all that stuff. Yeah. So if you want to build trust in the information that is out there, then that's one component only. Yeah. The others are privacy technology, ZK, to actually allow someone to maybe have a profile and speak up and have a high score, but not share his information, who he is. It has to be cloud agnostic. So then at some point, maybe open source the whole code and tech stack. All of these kind of components are part of that. Then Ethereum has some rules, and we are big fans of standards. So EVM, in this case, is the standard. Ethereum, the biggest layer one, and they have their community rules. For example, use ETH as currency where possible, work on topics that are important, like public goods, financial inclusion, stuff like that, to be also acknowledged and accepted in this ecosystem. That those are the guys that are setting the trends. But in the end of the day, the new users are hopefully just going to see an app that is actually better. That there's many reasons and many people that actually kind of build the stepping stones to get there. They don't even need to know that, and they probably also won't. But they might be thankful later down the run, and we could be, let's say, also basically benefiting from it, because we were basically part of the crime early on.
Super cool.
Right?
And before we are getting in the end of this interview, our interview, when we get together all the time, we discuss a lot, and
we already deep down.
We already did a lot, and this is very cool to discuss with you. Before your your last remarks that you want to share about whatever you want, I'm just fascinated with the fact that your project has also some type of adherence and communication also with people outside of this bubble of Web3 AI. Web3 AI is just like anybody, don't need to be Web3, kind of versed. They can kind of have a spreadsheet, put to sell, share on the social media, get money. And I think this is my point of view. So your last remarks and...
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks. So that's right. That's what some people definitely tell me is one of the coolest parts that they love the most, is that it could be really easy to use. You don't even have to log in to see a database. So those were the entry barriers that I still see in many Web3 apps that we wanted to get rid of, which was actually the reason why we even had to rebuild the whole platform from a ground up, which was thanks to Axel, also a good decision that we made in September last year only. So what we've built until now is basically has only been built in 5 months basically, and or four and a half, 5 months I would say it's been now. And those entry barriers also include things that also have just been up or enabled. For example, you don't have to have Ethereum on your profile to start a smart contract and set up the price for your database, because that's smart contract enabled too. Someone would have to have Ethereum on base chain to set up a price for his database in the first place and make it make it safe also. Someone could also set a price for $1 million, right? At that point, it would be relatively safe. But that had to be enabled, and it was just enabled recently with sponsoring that empty wallet, those 0.5 cents or something to sell data in the first place. Huh?
Yeah,
And
sounds interesting.
yeah, that's kind of really the stepping stones that I'm really grateful to have. Or
That's
also the tools that I'm happy to have found and maybe jumped on the bandwagon.
yeah.
With
I think so. Thank you for joining
thanks.
our interview. It is you all the time. All the time I speak with you is very resourceful. Very. It's
Thanks.
good to see passionate founders. It's
Nah.
like it is a bit. Uh, trying to search, iterate, come to the lab,
Yeah.
and you have this creativity. This is super cool to see. I think not only from my perspective. I mean, I'm a humble kind of ecosystem gluer, but maybe from the eyes of VCs, there is some here. I'm not going to spoil, but I think if I were a VC, what the thing that I would mostly kind of look is this type of energy, curiosity to discover change, and definitely we can see.
Cool. Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers to that. I'm gonna cheer with
Prost.
Coca-Cola. Prost,
Prost, mein Bruder.
mein Bruder. So thank you for joining, and hand of applause.